Venezuela is reeling tonight after a pair of devastating earthquakes struck the country's north, killing at least 920 people and injuring more than 3,300 others, and the search for survivors is still very much underway. The death toll, confirmed by Jorge Rodriguez, the leader of Venezuela's National Assembly, has been climbing steadily since the back-to-back quakes hit earlier this week. Around 1,400 buildings have been damaged, including 13 hospitals. Officials say at least 250 buildings have been completely toppled, leaving thousands of people homeless. And with more than 300 aftershocks rattling the north of the country, many survivors are too afraid to go back inside, choosing instead to sleep in baseball fields, public plazas, and along highways rather than risk what's left of their buildings coming down on top of them. The hardest hit area is the state of La Guaira, just north of the capital Caracas. And the situation there is dire. One doctor described a hospital operating without running water, staff washing their hands and cleaning blood-stained floors with stored water and intravenous saline. There are reportedly only 3 functioning ambulances serving Greater Caracas. This disaster has exposed just how fragile Venezuela's emergency medical system has become after years of economic collapse, institutional decay, and the mass emigration of skilled workers. On the ground, many survivors have been left largely to fend for themselves. With little heavy machinery available to clear the rubble, people have been digging through concrete and brick with their bare hands, hushing each other to listen for any sign of life beneath the debris. Others have been ferrying tools and supplies from Caracas on motorcycles and in cars. Hundreds of people are still believed to be trapped. Help is now arriving from around the world. The United States is leading a significant relief effort. The State Department has earmarked $150 million for aid going to nonprofits in the United Nations, and search and rescue teams from Virginia, Los Angeles, and Miami-Dade County have already landed in Venezuela. The Pentagon dispatched a Marine Corps Major General to Caracas to oversee U.S. military operations, along with 2 ships, heavy cargo planes, and helicopters. Venezuelan President Delcy Rodriguez said Friday she spoke directly with President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who reaffirmed U.S. support and committed to sending rescue workers, specialized equipment, temporary shelter support, and humanitarian assistance. This earthquake response is also, notably, a diplomatic moment. It comes as the first real test of the new relationship between the U.S. and Venezuela, one that formed after American forces seized longtime Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro earlier this year, clearing the way for Delcy Rodriguez to take power. How much the Trump administration will ultimately do remains an open question, but the early signals suggest a substantial commitment. Beyond the U.S., more than a dozen countries have flooded in with personnel and resources. The European Commission alone sent over 520 emergency responders from countries including France, Germany, Spain, Italy, and the Netherlands. The United Kingdom sent a 68-member crew equipped with drones, seismic listening technology, and cutting tools. Mexico dispatched 250 army officials and 18 canine teams. Brazil, Turkey, Qatar, Colombia, India, the UAE, and many others across Latin America and beyond have all pledged aid, search dogs, field hospitals, firefighters, medical supplies, and tons of equipment. Qatar even deployed a fully equipped field hospital. Venezuelan President Rodriguez has also announced that she is militarizing La Guaira, though she has not yet specified what that means in practice, whether it involves street patrols, a curfew, or something else entirely. What is clear is that Venezuela faces an enormous recovery ahead, with a weakened health system, overwhelmed hospitals, thousands displaced, and hundreds of people still waiting to be found beneath the rubble. As rescuers from around the world race against time in the ruins of northern Venezuela, the world is watching to see whether this outpouring of international help will be enough to meet the scale of one of the deadliest disasters the region has seen in years.